Also, final calls on team personnel. One former staffer said, quote, James has never heard no before. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard is joining us now. He's never heard no before. Chris, did the Rockets make a mistake giving Harden too much power?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, where's the hardware to show for it? Where are the championships to show for all this kowtowing to James Harden? I mean, at the very least, I got to get a ring out of it. Beyonce's from Houston. She's from their backyard. They should have known better. To get those kind of perks, you got to put a ring on it. It's as simple as that. I mean, this was ridiculous. And think, guys, how tough it is for grown men, powerful grown men, in some cases wealthy. Heck, the boss. I'm the owner. I'm paying you, and I have to cater to your every whim and need. And at least if I have a championship, I can justify it to some degree. But without that, it's just ridiculous, especially when James Harden is a big reason why they don't have a championship. Now, he is tremendous. He is an all-time great player. There's no question about it. But they had their chances, and James Harden didn't deliver. They had Golden State down 3-2, going home. And James Harden, I know Chris Paul got hurt, but still, I just needed one game, and James Harden didn't deliver. They had Golden State without Kevin Durant after he got hurt, and James Harden couldn't deliver. So he has to look in the mirror. He's a big reason why they don't have a championship. And look, whenever you let kids or employees run amok, what inevitably happens is they lose respect for you. And James Harden is showing the amount of disrespect he has, or the lack of respect he has for the Houston Rockets right this very moment. Showing up to training camp late while I'm partying with Lil Baby and I'm flaunting it on Instagram and social media. He has absolutely no respect for the people in authority in Houston. And so the silver lining is this. There's a new regime. New GM, Raphael Stone. New coach, Stephen Silas. They have an opportunity to come in and change the culture right now. It would have been tough for Daryl Morey, the GM, and Mike D'Antoni to do it, because once you've been soft, it's hard to, or if not impossible, to be the hard, tough guy now. So that ship was gone. But now Stone and Silas can come in and say, James, look, every unexcused absence, we're fining you. The plane is leaving at such and such a time. If he's not there, leave. I'm saying play the game without him, because he's probably not going to be with you long term anyway. And so at least set a culture and get the respect of the players that are there so that you can move on with a championship culture. This type of mess doesn't go on in Miami. I mean, LeBron had a little issue with it in Miami, but at least he got championships there. And so they absolutely made a mistake by letting Harden just run roughshod over the organization.
I don't think they made a mistake. Yeah, I think James Harden took advantage of a situation, and that's normally what happens. If I get Skip, and being a professional athlete, Skip, I can sign 1,000 autographs. It's the one that I don't sign that makes me a butthole. Mm-hmm. James Harden, they gave James Harden, and he took and took and took. That's why Chris Paul wanted out. That's why Russell Westbrook wanted out. That's why Dwight Howard wanted out. James Harden took advantage. And Chris, we were talking about, Skip and I was talking about this earlier. It takes a really special person to have power and not abuse it. James Harden abused his power. And I'm not just, and sometimes people think when you talk about power, Skip, you're talking about a president, you're talking about dictators, you're talking about political figures. But I'm talking about police officers, I'm talking about bosses. If you have power over someone and you abuse that, that's what James Harden did. He knew he had leveraged his plate. I'm a superstar. I'm going to leverage this against the Rockets, because if you want to keep me happy, you'll give me whatever I want and give me no problems. And the more they gave, the more he took. Now they got nothing else to give. Chris, what can they trade? They've traded all their draft picks to get Chris Paul. They traded all their to get Russ. So what can they give him now? Now he has nothing to give, to take from them. He won out when he put them in this situation. James, this is you. And Skip, even though he abused, the problem that I got now, how he show up like this here, Chris? You see James Harden last night? That's a 52 jersey. James Harden, look, if you don't want to be there, but at least show up in shape. At least do the right thing. Don't be unprofessional all the time. Man, this is unacceptable. I would have a problem with this. I would have a problem if I was in the NFL or NBA. Don't do this. Your time isn't more important than mine, bro. Just get here on time. You want to go, hey, I ain't got no Skip. Hell, I'm going to ask him to take me with him if he going somewhere to Vegas and hang out. But when it comes to these meetings, Skip, when it comes to being on the plane and the bus, bro, be on time. Yep. That's all we asking. All you want to fly and go, hey, Jordan flew out, Skip, like you said. Skip said, I ain't got a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it either. But when it comes to all of us being involved with meetings and bus rides and plane rides, nah, bro, I'm going to have a problem.
So, Chris, I'm more on Shannon's side on this issue because James Harden is hard to condemn. And I hear you, where's the hardware? And that's what we concluded in the opening block of the show. But he's hard to hate. It's hard not to fall into the James Harden trap, to be held hostage by him, because he has revolutionized basketball. We have never seen anybody score from the perimeter like this man consistently scores. We have never seen any 6'5" or shorter player get to the free throw line like this man does and make his free throws at an almost 90% clip. I don't know that there's a more durable superstar in the NBA this side of LeBron, and even LeBron 2 years ago missed time with a groin pull. James misses no time. He plays through bad ankles, bum shoulders, and he takes a lot of contact and a lot of abuse, as we all know, at the rim. So last year, he even added to his repertoire. He played his tail off on defense last year. He was top 3 in deflections and I believe he's top 2, second in loose balls recovered. Well, you got to give that to him to a point, but they put all their eggs in James's basket because he was filling the basket up with 50-point games, and they hoped there would be a breakthrough.
Right.
And they had a couple of shots. They got to 2 conference finals. We go back to 2015. And how did it end? Ingloriously for James, because in the closeout game, James had a playoff record 12 turnovers. That's who he is. So undisciplined during the regular season, undisciplined in a closeout game. Then against my Spurs, that closeout game, there's no Kawhi and no Tony Parker. And James Harden, they're still looking for that James Harden. There's still an APB out for him because they lost the game by 39 points at home. He had 6 more turnovers and shot 2 of 11 from the floor and 2 of 9 from 3. That's just who he is. And then to Chris's point with Chris Paul, they had Golden State on the ropes. Chris Paul pulls his hamstring, but they still win the game. They're up 3 games to 2 on Golden State. James, you got to take us home by yourself. Just one solo night. Give us one big 50-point salvo and we're good. We're in the finals.
Right.
And then it would pay off. All the power that you gave him, you'd get paid back.
We need one of those big games that you give us in the regular season. Yeah. We need it here.
He was a minus 32 in those 2 games combined and shot 6 of 25 from the 3-point line. And as Shannon points out, the closeout game, they all started missing. They missed like 25 straight threes. Okay, that's who he is. So I'm with Shannon on this part. I can live with the LeBron-esque, let's practice this day instead of that day. Right. If we need a day off on the road, it's up to the leader to say, okay, and I'm good. Yeah. If LeBron wants to do that, I'm totally cool with it. I am not cool with all this missing meetings, but being late for buses, late for planes. Right. No, you can't do that because that's how you lose playoff games. That destroys the unity and discipline, dedication of an entire team.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I draw the line, but they're still in the trap because, Chris, my final point is there's only one franchise in the entire NBA that has made the playoffs 8 straight years, and it's that guy's team because of that guy. But do they have hardware? They have exactly none.
Right.
LeBron got his teams to 10 finals and won 4 of them, and James got his to 0 and 1, obviously 0. So fire away, Chris.
Well, that's the difference. I mean, LeBron, we know he's gotten perks, and you talked about practice schedules and things like that. But he delivered championships. Michael Jordan goes to Atlantic City during the playoffs. But he delivered championships. That's the difference. And James Harden, because he hasn't delivered the rings and because this is the culture, he's run other stars out of there.
Yes.
They were a really good team with Chris Paul. We know they had Golden State beat with Chris Paul. And he ran Chris Paul out of there. He ran Dwight Howard out of there. And now Russell Westbrook out of there. And that is where the problem is. And the other thing is this. On the court, one of the problems Chris Paul had with Harden was that when Harden wasn't involved in the play, and it doesn't take a basketball genius to see it, he really doesn't even get involved in the offense. He's standing around at half court and, you know, rubbing his hands or just watching. At least be a decoy. Those little things could make us better. And you guys know this. If this was going on in Sacramento or, you know, Orlando or someplace like that, that's one thing. Houston is not this bad franchise that's never seen winners. James Harden isn't even the best Rockets player ever. Hakeem Olajuwon was there. They had Moses Malone there. They've won championships and been to the finals when they didn't win it.